So how it first started was my dad had passed away. So my mum was at home grieving my dad straight away, really. So she'd been in bed for, I'd say, probably about 4 days. And you could just tell she was grieving. So it was unusual for her. So my sister and brother called the ambulance just to have her checked out because they thought it's not normal. So they called the ambulance. The ambulance come. They checked her oxygen levels. They were 99%. And they said, you might have a slight infection. You can come into the hospital. So she went to the hospital. And she was ringing my brother up and said there's people in the hospital, double vaccinated, single vaccinated, basically. And she was fine. And she said she'll be coming home. So then afterwards, we never heard nothing from her at all. So they'd obviously taken her phone and given her morphine. So when we went down to the hospital, we could see that she was drowsy and she was waving through the window at us, you know, drowsy. So I said to the doctor, why are you giving her morphine? And they said they give her morphine for an uncomfortable mask. So I said, she can just take the mask off. And they say, well, if she does, she'll die. So literally, so that was a reason to give her the morphine. So my mum, so we went in there that day. We said to them, take her off the morphine. And the following day, they called us up and said, get your family down here because she's going to die. So we went down there, and even though we told them to take her off the morphine, she still had the morphine on her. So she had the syringe driver. So my sister went into the bay and said, take it off. So he said, we can turn it off. And my sister said, no, take it off. So they took it off of her. So we said we wanted to see our mum in a room on her own. So the doctor literally couldn't even look me in the eye, the doctor. So he was basically saying that that's what COVID does. He says, it's the tightening of the lungs. He said, it's COVID, it's the tightening of the lungs. So anyway, we got our mum in a room on her own. So her mouth was completely dry, literally white. So she was thirsty. So we got her some water. So she drank it. And then she said that she's hungry, so they hadn't fed her. So then she had the chicken curry, and she said it was hot, spicy hot. So then she had the dessert. So anyway, so she's had that. So I'm curious because everyone that seems to go into the hospital, I was curious because they were not coming out, they were dying. So I said to her, so what happened? Because I'm curious, what happened? And she said to me, they injected something in my groin and they're just trying to keep me in here. So from then I knew something, and if I had a phone, I would have recorded to find out what else happened. But
what year was this?
This was 21. 21. So literally she said that to me, and so I knew, because if she had passed away without me talking to her and her not telling me this, I wouldn't have been sure. I couldn't be 100% sure. But when she told me they're trying to keep me in here, there was nothing wrong with me. They injected something in my groin. I knew straight away that they had done something. So yeah, so then obviously her SAT levels were low, and it's because they were giving her morphine, putting the oxygen mask on her, so she couldn't do nothing because she was drowsed up. So the other thing she said to my sister, which rung bells, was she said that they were letting her wet the bed, but she had a catheter in. So when did they put the catheter in? After they drugged her and put a catheter in? So I knew there was something wrong there. So in the end, my sister stayed there, and then they gave her an injection, and then obviously killed her off. So they were giving her morphine and midazolam, and they gave her that to kill her off. But I don't know whether if we took her out of there, what would have happened. You're in a situation where you don't know what's going to happen because her SAT levels were low after the treatment that they'd given her, the morphine, the mask, the midazolam. So there was really nothing we could do.
Yeah. Do you know the dosages of the morphine and midazolam they gave?
I'm not 100% with the dosages. We did took something down. I've got a book that I've put everything in the notes. So I've got all the drugs that they were giving her and everything. But even while she was there, they said to her that if we take you off if you take the mask off, you'll die.
Right.
So they were scaring her into taking the drugs and telling her. I mean, I don't know who would tell someone they're going to die if they knew they were going to die. You know, no one. If someone's dying, no nurse will go and say, "Oh, you're going to die." And that's what they did. So.
So do you know if she'd been put on an end of life pathway?
Yes, yeah, they had. They put her on it. They said she was 76, she's coming to the end of her life. And my mum was nothing like it. She had nothing wrong with her at all. She was as fit as me, and the only thing she was doing was grieving my dad. So, you know, even if she had cancer or something like that, there was nothing wrong with her at all. Nothing. So they literally killed her, gave her end of life. And all they could say is she's 76 years old, she's coming to the end of her life, when she wasn't. And she was fine.
Did they actually say that?
Yeah. They said she's 76 years old, she's coming to the end of her life. And we know our mum, you know, she was nowhere near going to die. Nothing at all wrong with her. So it's just what they did. And she went in with 99% oxygen levels, and then the doctor tried to make out that when she got to the hospital that it dropped to 70-something. And then when she went in, it went down even more. But she'd been grieving for 4 days. Why didn't it go down then? So she had 99% oxygen levels when she was taken in the ambulance. So I know what they did to her in that hospital. And for the nurse to be turning, not even looking at me in the eye, she just could not look me in the eye. And then she went off. So they knew that what they were doing. You know, some people might say, was it negligent? It wasn't negligence. I could never put it down to that. It was deliberate what they did. Deliberate. There's no way it was negligence. It was deliberate.
And the thirst she had, was that because they had withdrawn fluid and food, you reckon?
Yes. We noticed that, you know, normally you get a drip.
Yeah.
She didn't have that. So my aunt was a nurse, and she said, "You've not even given her a drip." And then when they said that, they said, "Oh, we're giving it to her orally." So when are they going to give it to her orally? They're going to take the mask off and say, "Here, I have some water." They weren't giving it to her orally. So they didn't have the drip on her, didn't have nothing. So they weren't giving her fluids at all. So, yeah, that was another thing.
Did you suspect something straight away, or did it come later?
No, I suspected straight away. As I went into the hospital and I saw that she was all drowsy, and they said they were giving her morphine for an uncomfortable mask, to me that didn't make sense. You know, people get morphine when they're in pain, if they've broken an arm or broken a leg or something. But for an uncomfortable mask, give them morphine. They tried to calm my sister by saying that we're giving her, like they were doing her a favour. But they gave her the morphine to make her drowsy so they could do whatever they wanted to do. And you just could tell, that.
What did your sister make of it?
Oh, she knew the same thing now. She knows now. And then when my mum was there and said what she said, she looked at me as if to say, "Can't believe this." I would never have expected it from, normal hospital. You expect it from backstreet hospitals, but not a big hospital. But now I know what's happening in the hospitals then. Because, several of my dad's friends went in and didn't come out. So I was thinking, what's so bad that's killing these people? And now I know, because my mum told me, they were killing the people in the hospitals.
And I take it you're aware of the protocols, like NG163?
Yeah, I've heard of the protocol, yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I would like to say that there is some good people, nurses in the hospitals, but there was a certain group of people doing this, killing people. Whereas, you know, I can't blame the whole hospital, but because I know there is some good nurses and good doctors out there doing the right thing, but there is that side, there was people doing the wrong thing, killing people.
So what have you done over the intervening years since?
With just Jacqui's been helping, because it's so hard to prove.
Yeah.
When they do what they do, they can easily make an excuse up and say, oh, she had COVID, so we was trying to make her comfortable, so we gave her morphine and midazolam. So it's so hard to prove what they did. They said that she had chronic kidney disease and COVID. She never had chronic kidney disease, so that was something that they said, but she didn't have that. Something on her record previously when she had her appendix, so they just put that down. Yeah.
What do other family members think of it?
Most of the other family members, my brother, he's proper conspiracy. He goes on the marches and everything. He knew this was going to happen because he said before she went, he said they're going to put her on morphine and midazolam and they're going to kill her in the hospitals. This is before. I never even knew, you know, I didn't think that. But and then my other sister believes it because she's been with me on a few interviews and stuff. But I'm not too sure about the others. Not too sure about the others. But I just feel that I want to expose the people for what they were doing, because that's all I can do, because it's hard to bring them to justice, but I can expose them and let people know, because a lot of people think that my mum died of COVID, and I'm telling them now what really happened, and they're saying, do you know what, I knew that because she was so strong. She was stronger than me, she was a lot healthier than me. You know, a lot of people can't believe that my mum has gone, but I don't want them to believe that she died of COVID when she didn't. It's what they did, the protocol, what they did in the hospital. They killed her in the hospital. I'd like to bring those people to justice. I would like to do that, but I know it's going to be very difficult.
You can name them in this interview. You can name the hospital, name the doctors.
Yeah, I mean, it was West Middlesex Hospital, and the doctors was Hannah Barrett and Craig Leaper. They were the two doctors that were involved. And I know there was, when I went down there, there was people that their parents were going in and they weren't coming out. And it was those doctors that were involved in it. So Craig Leaper and Hannah Barrett were the two doctors, and they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, it's a very familiar story that we've heard.
I just believe that if you got all these people together, because most of the time people's parents die and then it's all forgotten about. But if all those people come together from the same hospital, there's going to be thousands of people. But sometimes a lot of people don't even know about anything that's going on. But if you've got them all together, they'll have the same story, what's happened to their loved ones. Because I met someone else after that, and she said the same thing that happened to her mum, and her mum was only like 50. And they said the same sort of thing happened. Different hospital, but the same thing happened to her. So, but a lot of people don't pursue it anymore because they don't know how to. No one knows how to do it. So it needs a case president so that it can be done. Yeah.
Have you managed to meet any other families from the hospital?
No. I just heard of another guy that went in. He was another young guy, but he went into the same hospital, and same thing, he didn't come out. But I think a lot of people are realising now what's happening. But this guy, he was someone, he didn't take the jab, and when he went in with COVID, they obviously did the same to him because he didn't take the jab. So, you know, I'd like to have met his family, but when I went to the shop just to find out there was no one there. It was closed. So,
what was your brother's reaction to your mum being in hospital? Because he knew about these protocols before.
Yeah, he just said it'll be on your head, to my sister. He said it'll be on your head if that, you know, she gets killed in the hospital. But they weren't to know, so, you know, they're not going to know, so they let her go in. But they just, yeah, he knew what was going on. But yeah, nothing really. It's just too late now.
Yeah.
All we can do is try and bring these people to justice.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's what I like to do.
That's excellent. Think of anything else?
No, not really. I think you've done that very quickly.
Yeah.
Covered the whole story, because I know the story really well as well. It's not like you're hearing it for the first time, and I don't have loads of questions because you mentioned hospital. I suppose you've answered that really. I was going to say, what do you think is the next step for you personally and your family? Are you going to just let it lie, or are you going to? You know?
I just want to expose them. That's all really. I just want to expose them. It'd be good to prosecute them, yeah.
And
But
that's
I just
why
don't
I'm
know.
afraid of mentioning names and stuff, because you said bring it on, take me to court. Then that's another way of exposing them.
Yeah,
A lot of people have said it's a different grief process because they know that their family's been murdered.
yeah. See, I would like to do, if, I don't know, it's not legal in this country, but if you had, what is that, lie detector. Yeah. Because, you know, I'm telling the truth, and I'd like to see them tell the truth. You know, see what they, because they know what they did, and they knew what they were doing. So if they couldn't look me in the eye, when someone's looking after someone, and they look at, you know, they can quite comfortably look someone in the eye and say, look, this is what's wrong, we're trying to do this, but she couldn't look me in the eye. And the same with Craig Leaper. You know, he's trying to tell me, like, if COVID clogs the lungs up, it's like cement in the lungs. You know, that's what COVID does. It's the tightening of the lungs. That's what he said. And then he said to me, if I can learn anything from this, he said, get all your family vaccinated. That's what he said. So it was all about the vaccination, because my mum wasn't vaccinated. But it was all about the vaccination, and that's what it was. I'm sure that is why they done it, because she wasn't vaccinated.
Yeah, previous people we've spoken to, they haven't been vaccinated, and they've said that they had like unvaccinated written on their doctor's notes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we believe they were targeted that way.
I heard another story of a guy going into the hospital. He had COVID. He went into the hospital, and they were putting him on drugs, and he was feeling worse. And he got up and he left the hospital, and he's alive.
Good to hear.
Yeah. So there are several people that I know it's happened to. And the thing is, when my mum was grieving my dad, she was in bed, and my sister, she had COVID. She went to the hospital. She called the ambulance. She went to the hospital at the same time, and the hospital couldn't take her because they were that busy. So she went to 2 hospitals, and in the end, they sent her home with antibiotics, and she's alive. And my mum was in the bed and said to me, "Is she okay?" So that's why I know my sister had COVID. She went to the hospital, and she came home, and she's alive. My mum didn't have COVID. She went into the hospital, and she's dead. So that's another situation. So I know that she had it, and my mum didn't have it.
Was there any point where you wanted to get your mum out of hospital, or did you try to get her out or anything?
Well, we would like to have got her out, but her SAT levels were low, so the damage had already been done. Possibly, if we'd taken her out, I don't know what would have happened. maybe she would have been alive and her SAT levels would have come up. I don't know what the morphine and midazolam does. Does it drop your SAT levels? I don't know. If I was a doctor and I knew, then yeah, I'd have definitely taken her out and she'd be here today. But we didn't know what they'd done. They'd done so much damage, especially with the mask, because when my sister took the mask off of her, she goes, "Thank God." So the mask must have been doing something to her, because she literally said, "Thank God." And she must have known that something was going on, because she told the nurse in there that my sister and her army have come down here for me. So she even said that as well. So she must have known there was something. She wouldn't have said that if she was being looked after there. If she was being taken care of, she wouldn't even that wouldn't even have crossed her mind. So she knew what they were doing to her. But yeah, she was that drowsy, There's nothing we could do. But yeah, she could talk.